Hi there, author Melissa May Younger here, and I'm going to talk to you about some great nonfiction keywords that could help you on Amazon. Okay, let's start with some business keywords. So I arrived at this one, corporate finance for beginners. I typed in business, and then I typed in business finance, and then that led me to corporate finance, and then I actually found for beginners in the drop down here. See how that pops up here? That means whenever it pops up down here, that means that many people have searched for it. And so over here, you can see that it has a good score, 57. And there are 3,601 results. So that's how much you're going to be competing against. Another business one that I came across, I just came across this stock market for beginners 2022. And that's because I started researching finance, and what was coming down in the drop-down menu was stuff about the stock market. And I hadn't even thought, oh, well, maybe there are some categories about the stock market out there. And so stock market for beginners, for people who want to learn how to do that, dabble in it. And then if you put in a year, then the current year, then that can be very effective too, because people want the most updated information on something like that. They want to know about the stock market today, right now. So as you can see, this is a well searched for keyword and only 257 results. So that would actually be probably a pretty lucrative category if you actually knew something about the stock market as it was going on right now and could educate beginners on it. Now, another one I thought of was inspired by just the current culture. One of the big topics has been race. And for a while now, a lot of people, especially in the US, are of mixed races, sometimes biracial, sometimes they have 3 or 4. Okay. And so those stories have become more popular. So I looked for biracial stories 2021, and that actually had a score of 59, which is really good. Remember, if you can get it anywhere around the 60 range or higher, that's actually great. So if somebody had published some kind of biracial story, either in 2021 or if it was about the year 2021, then you could use that keyword. Now, based on that, I would say going into this next year, this is going to continue to be a hot topic. So if you're telling biracial stories, then you might want to use a keyword like this, biracial stories 2022, because that is more with the current year. People might want to find some current stories in that. And as we get more into 2022, that keyword's going to be more popular. Since we're only a few days into it right now, it's not as popular, right? And there's only 29 results you're competing against so far. So this would be a good time to really jump on that. And I would say this would go for other categories too, just putting in the year, especially at the beginning of the year. Something to note about this one is that I checked this one, Biracial Stories 2022, a few days ago, and it had a score of 45. Now it has a score of 48. What that means is that there are more people already searching for this, even just a few days later into 2022. Now, another thing I thought of that's been really popular, a trend, is affirmations. And there are lots of different kinds of affirmations, but when I typed in affirmations, one of the things that came up in the dropdown was for the inner child. Now, I believe there's a book that is specifically called Affirmations for the Inner Child, but this is also a category. So if your book was affirmations for somebody's inner child, then you could use this keyword. And it has a 61 score. You're only competing against 331 other results, but it's well looked for. Okay, a lot of people are looking for it, and so your book might come up just like shortly under this one that has that as its title. Now, something I'll say about this one is a couple of days ago when I did a search, it had a score of 65. So that usually means that there were more people searching for it a few days ago. And now today it's getting a score of 61, which is a little bit lower. That probably means a little less people are searching for it. Keywords change, that you have to constantly be checking your keywords and making sure that they're still good keywords, that these are still things that people are searching for. Because especially if one of them is following a trend, then inevitably that trend is going to change and you'll need to update your keyword. And then I thought, one category that is always big, always huge, everyone is always looking for books on it, is leaders. So any kind of leadership book. And so I thought maybe leaders who make a difference would be a keyword, good keyword. And then I thought maybe leaders who make an impact, because sometimes people like to use the word impact instead of making a difference. That's probably something that's become more popular. And actually, both of those had a score of 57, which is pretty good. But then I thought, what if I tried combining those and I put impact after that? So you can see leaders who make a difference, impact. That doesn't technically make sense, right? But it's including all the words from both of those. And so it has a score of 63. There's only 220 results that are going to come up for this. And so it's not that competitive. So that's actually, if you're writing a book on leadership and you're including things about different leaders who have made an impact or difference, then you should totally use that keyword. Yeah, if you're looking for some inspiration for figuring out your keywords, or you're not sure which category your book might fall into, then it's a good idea to go to this website, which I will link down below. And I will also link the tool that I'm using for these keywords down below for you to use. And so basically, you can scroll through here, and no matter what you have, let's say you have an autobiography. And so memoir would be its own thing, but there could be lots of other types of autobiographies. So if you were a teacher writing an autobiography about like your experience during the pandemic or something, then you could just say autobiography by an educator, right? You could search for keywords in that general category, and especially using the word pandemic in there. And if you were writing an autobiography of somebody who is of Jewish ancestry, then you could use those and look for good keywords related to Jewish and autobiography. So this is a good place to come to just get ideas for like a jumping off point. So those are just a few tips to help you find some great keywords for your nonfiction book in 2022. I hope that's helpful for you. If you like this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you would like to see more videos about writing, about publishing, about my own personal writing projects, and that sort of thing.